From historic Simmons Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin, it's almost time for Rockford Rivets baseball. Today, the 4-6 Rivets look to win back-to-back games for the first time this season against the 6-5 Kenosha Kingfish. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us on the Rockford Rivets radio network. It's Larry Larson reporting from Kenosha. It's a hot and very humid Midwestern June afternoon on this June 11th, 2021. The Rivets enter this matchup still tied for last place in the Great Lakes East Division, but they have a chance to gain some ground. Kenosha still sitting in second place after yesterday's loss to the Rivets at 6-5, 1.5 games back of the first place Traverse City Pittsbitters. Yesterday's victory was a thriller for the Rivets. They led for most of the game 3-0 until they surrendered the lead late as the Kingfish pushed across 4 runs in the 7th inning. Rockford would respond with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Kenosha would come back and tie it in 9th before Greg Ziegler walked it off with a sacrifice fly to score Wade Elliott in the bottom of the 9th inning. Should be another great matchup today. Jace Warkentine, the starting pitcher for the Rivets. He's already made 1 appearance this season. He squares off against Dominic Hann, the freshman from Michigan State. We'll get more into that later, but for now, let's toss it to our pregame interview for today. It features Daniel Gutierrez, Rivets infielder and redshirt sophomore at Roosevelt University. He's had quite the baseball journey. Just like all these athletes, his story is quite interesting. So let's toss it to our interview with Daniel Gutierrez. On the Rockford Rivets pregame show with Rivets infielder Daniel Gutierrez, the redshirt sophomore at Roosevelt University. Dan, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Dan, you had a big base hit yesterday. Let's start with that. You know, it's in the 8th inning, things getting late, back and forth game. Then you come through with a bases loaded single. What's going through your head in that at bat?
Just trying to see pitches, put the ball in play. With 1 out, just trying to keep it out the middle on the ground. And, you could use my speed, beat out the double play, so I wasn't really worried about that. Just, fighting. I got ahead early in the count, and after that, just looking fastball, and that's what I got.
Stepping back and taking a look at the bigger picture here, how'd you end up on the Rockford Rivets this summer?
Actually, my pitching coach for Roosevelt, where I'm at now, was coached by JT in whatever level that they, whatever he coached them in, and that's how, grew the connection between me and JT. He's actually at the Dome where I work out, where we play college ball at, so.
There you go. Always a lot of connections in the game of baseball. Taking a look at your experience here in the woods so far, what are your thoughts? Probably a pretty high level of play. Obviously, you've played some D1, but, your thoughts on the level here?
Yeah, summer ball, I never really played like in a summer ball league this competitive. I played in the MCL, but the competition here is just like unmatched compared to a lot of other schools or colleges, or college summer leagues, so the opportunities are awesome here, and it's been a great time so far.
Yeah, certainly, and taking a step back, looking at your baseball career, you started at Triton, then moved to Chicago State, and then ended up at Roosevelt. Take me through those 3 schools, and obviously the Chicago State thing kind of came with a little adversity.
Yeah, my first 2 years I was at Triton. I played there a lot as a freshman, and my sophomore year I actually took a red shirt. I had knee surgery on my left knee. So I left Triton and joined Chicago State as a redshirt sophomore. With COVID, right as that happened, in the summer, right about right now, actually, early June is when Chicago State canceled their program. So I didn't really have a lot of options, especially with the COVID year and a lot of 5th years coming back and just so many roster spots taken up. I just kind of took, what I knew I could get my ABs in and, get my time, so.
Yeah, it worked out for you, hitting in the high 300s and then ranking up there in the nation in stolen bases. When you get out there on the base paths, obviously, you've got that dangerous speed, but what's your mindset in terms of stealing bases?
In terms of stealing bases, one coach always says, you're not going to steal bases unless you go. There's very few opportunities to steal. Just picking the right time and getting a good jump, the most important part.
Yeah, certainly, and you said knee surgery.
Yeah.
Now, how much did that take for you to come back from that and get that speed all the way back up to where it is now?
Yeah, I had left PCL. which was a tough surgery. They originally gave me a 1-year recovery. I think I got cleared in 6.5 months. So, granted, I wasn't 100%, but, you know, like, I worked really hard in PT and just strengthening it, my hamstrings and all the muscles around it. So, it's pretty much 100% now, about 2 years later. So.
Wow, congrats on that. I know that that's certainly not an easy thing to do. I want to go through a few rapid-fire questions here about the team, about your teammates here so far this summer. First off, who's the funniest teammate on this Rivet squad?
I'd have to go with Blake Mosley.
All right.
He's a goofball.
He's a character for sure.
Yeah.
Who has had the best post-game meal so far of the opposing teams?
Battle Creek.
Battle Creek, all right.
B-Dubs.
Yes, the B-Dubs, that's definitely a big one. Favorite stadium to play in so far?
Kenosha. I love the fans here, it's cool.
Yeah, fans, they came out big on opening day.
Yeah.
Let's see, worst field to play at so far?
Battle Creek.
There we go, I think that's probably a pretty easy answer. That's pretty much all I got. Dan, thanks for the time and good luck today.
Thank you.
That was Rivets infielder and redshirt sophomore from Roosevelt University, Daniel Gutierrez. He's done a nice job for the Rivets. He's been with the team since opening day. He's on a temp contract. We'll see if he sticks around for the rest of the season. Let's take a look at our pitching matchup as we are approximately 6-7 minutes away from first pitch here at historic Simmons Field in Kenosha. It'll be Dominic Hann going for the Kingfish, making his first Northwoods League appearance of the summer. He's a freshman from Michigan State, standing at 6'2", 215 pounds. And looking at his numbers for the Spartans this spring, he tossed 14 innings in 12 appearances, did not make a start. He posted an ERA of 4.50 with 11 strikeouts and 9 walks. He pitched 2 scoreless innings against the Illinois Fighting Illini on April 17th. And of course, we mentioned that as the Rockford Rivets lineup features 2 Fighting Illini members, but Hann did not face Cam McDonald or Brody Harding. For the Rivets, it's going to be Jace Warkentine, the native of Winnebago, just outside of Rockford. Redshirt junior from Western Illinois, made 1 appearance earlier this season, went 6 innings and allowed 8 earned runs against Kokomo on June 4th. We're going to step aside for a brief break for the national anthem and be right back with baseball in the starting lineups. Welcome back to historic Simmons Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The lines are chalked, the lineup cards are turned in, and it's almost time for baseball between the Kenosha Kingfish and your Rockford Rivets. Let's get the starting lineups for this one. First for the visiting Rockford Rivets, managed by JT Scara. It'll be Dylan Robertson, the freshman from Iowa Western, once again leading off. He leads the team with a batting average of .394. Tyler Hawkins, the redshirt freshman from Louisville, bats second, will play center field. Wade Elliott bats third and will play first base. Brody Harding moves up in the lineup once more. He bats cleanup, playing shortstop. Cam McDonald, the redshirt sophomore from Illinois, backs up his teammate in the fifth spot, playing right field. Blake Mosley back in the lineup after 2 days off. He'll play third base and bat sixth. Jared Cushing will be the DH, the redshirt freshman from Xavier, batting seventh. Greg Ziegler behind him, batting eighth in left field, and Drew Stengren, the freshman catcher from Central Michigan University. Now for the Kenosha Kingfish, managed by Mike Porcaro. The Fish go with a lefty-heavy lineup once more, 5 lefties in this order. McKay Barney leads it off and plays center field. Kirk Liebert, the former Rivet, behind the dish, batting second. Justin Janis, the Big Ten batting champion, is the DH, batting third. Cam Redding bats fourth and plays first base. Dustin Crenshaw will be the second baseman. Henry Kuziak will be in right. Casey O'Laughlin in left. Sam Beers, another former Rivet, at third base. And Josh Leslie, the junior from McNeese State, will bat ninth and play shortstop. The uniform matchups today, the Rivets in their traditional road dark grays with gold lettering across the front that says Rockford and gold numbers with black caps. As for the Kingfish, they're sporting their Negro League tribute uniforms, which say Bears, honoring the Milwaukee Bears across the front, and blue text. They look like cutoff uniforms with different colored sleeves, blue sleeves, and it's a bit of a beige vanilla color, blue numbers in addition to blue caps and dark blue socks. The temperature around southern Wisconsin today is hovered around 90 degrees. Looks like the wind is blowing in from right field here at Simmons Field, so that certainly does not favor the hitters. It's an all real grass surface, perhaps not the most common thing in the Northwoods League these days. Rivets have played on a lot of turf fields lately. Dark dirt just got watered down before the game, and it looks like some hazy sunshine is overhead. Some clouds around, but the sun is shining here at first pitch. It's almost time for baseball. Dominic Hann, the right-hander from Michigan State, is done with his warm-up pitches. Dylan Robertson, the freshman from Iowa Western, stepping in the left-handed batter's box. And we're about set to get underway between the Rockford Rivets and the Kenosha Kingfish. Rivets looking to win back-to-back games for the first time this season, and the first pitch is taken low and in at 6:05 p.m. Central Time, right on time here at Simmons Field. Robertson was 0 for 4 yesterday. Top 10 in the league in batting average. Swings at the next pitch and hits it hard down the third base side out of play. And the count is 1-1. Robertson led the entire league in batting average at one point earlier this season. He's still on a temp contract. In fact, he's only got 2 games left with the Rockford Rivets in the early going. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and lifted down the left field line. This one might stay in play. Casey O'Laughlin leans over the fence near the bullpen and makes the grab. That one was destined for the seats, a picnic area down the left field line, but O'Laughlin snagged it, and that's out number 1. Base is empty. Top half of the first, scoreless ball game for Tyler Hawkins. The redshirt freshman from Louisville was 1 for 5 in yesterday's Rivets victory. Righty on righty, the wind and the first pitch. Slow breaking ball out over the heart of the plate, taken for a called strike 1. Umpiring crew today, same as yesterday. Spencer Kim behind the plate, Perry Swartz at third base, and Jeff Osborne at first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball just slightly outside. And it's quickly 0-2 on Tyler Hawkins. He enters this one with a batting average of .296. Is prone to the strikeout a little bit. He's got 7 of them. The wind and the 0-2. Swing and a chopper to the Kenosha third base dugout. Snagged by a coach sitting out in front. And we'll have another 0-2 pitch. Louisville Cardinal against Michigan State Spartan here, and another 0-2. Fastball outside. Looked like Hand hit his spot, was trying to get Hawkins to chase. No dice, and it's 1-2. Hand gets the baseball back, working from the windup, rocks and deals the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, foul tipped. Hawkins just got a piece of it. Looked like it got a piece of the catcher, Kirk Liebert. He's all right. And the battle continues. Good job by Hawkins to work this count. Another 1-2, swung on and driven. Deep left field, O'Loughlin back on it at the track, and he can't make the catch, it's over the wall. It's a solo home run, a towering blast for Tyler Hawkins, and it's 1-0 Rivets in the top half of the first. Hawkins finds the short porch in straightaway left field, just 300 feet out there, and he takes advantage. The long battle pays off. 1-0 Rivets now. Nobody on for Wade Elliott. First pitch to him. Breaking ball right down the middle, called strike one. Elliott was 1 for 3 yesterday with 2 runs scored. He scored the winning run in the bottom of the 9th inning. And a walk-off Rivets victory. Here's the 0-1. Fastball bounced in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Elliott, the sophomore, headed to Louisiana Tech. Played 2 seasons at Grayson College in Texas. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and poked out into right field. Sends the right fielder Kuziak back, and he makes the catch backpedaling. A handful of steps in front of the track, and there's 2 down. Base is empty. Top half of the first, 1-0 Rivets, and Brody Harding steps up. Rivets cleanup batter. Harding gives Kirk Liebert a tap behind the plate, former teammates last season for the Rockford Rivets. Of course, Liebert attends Kentucky in the SEC. Harding, the sophomore from Illinois. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Hand winds and deals. Fastball in there for a called strike. It's a Big Ten on Big Ten matchup here. Lots of Big Ten flavor in this game between these two teams. 9 players between the Kingfish and the Rivets playing the Big Ten. 0-1, fastball down and in, taken for ball 1. Brody Harding has been on a tear lately. Multi-hit games abound. He was 3 for 4 yesterday. 3 singles, the 1-1. Swung on and driven into center field. McKay Barney back on it. He's got a beat, and he makes the grab. And the inning is over. But the Rivets pull ahead early on a huge solo home run by Tyler Hawkins to the short porch in left field. And after a half inning, it's the Rivets 1 and the Kingfish coming up on the Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to historic Simmons Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Rivets up early as we go to the bottom half of the first, with Rockford boasting a 1-0 advantage. Jace Warkentine, the Rockford left-hander, pitches with an early advantage. The redshirt junior from Western Illinois is making his second start this season, squaring off against 5 lefties in this Fish order, starting with 3 lefties at the top. And McKay Barney, the leadoff batter, from a sophomore from Washington, approaches the left-handed batter's box, adjusts his blue batting gloves, which match the Kingfish Negro League tribute uniforms. Now he's in there. Warkentine from the windup fires the first pitch, and a fastball is in there for a called strike. Barney squared to bunt, pulled back, thought it was a ball, but it's strike 1. Warkentine, long flowing hair out of the back of his black Rivets cap, working from the right side of the rubber. Fiddles with the baseball in his glove. Overhead windup and the 0-1. Nice breaking ball, makes Barney turn away from it, but it's down the middle for strike 2. Warkentine already ready to go for the 0-2 pitch. Barney steps out, now steps back in, taps the plate. The wind and the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball fouled straight back, and we'll do it again. Rockford Rivets pitchers have done a really good job bouncing back from tough first starts to the season. We'll see if that trend stays trending, so to speak, for lack of a better term, for Jace Warkentine. Takes a deep breath. Here's another 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 out, 1 strikeout for the Rockford left-hander. Base is empty, bottom half of the first. Rivets up 1-0, and here's Kirk Liebert. There were not a lot of strikeouts in yesterday's matchup between these two teams. In fact, Rockford just struck out 3 times. Kenosha, not much more. Liebert, the junior from Kentucky, the Northwoods League leader in batting average, with a .488 mark. Been in the 2 spot pretty much all season for Kenosha. First pitch, he squares to bunt, and it's up the first base line, foul. Looked like it started spinning up the first base side. Might have stayed fair, but too much spin on it. And the count is 0-1. Liebert spent 2 seasons in Rockford, spent 2 seasons at Wabash Valley Community College. It's a great eye for the ball, but now his other attributes have really started to come around, especially those power numbers. Here's the 0-1, squares to bunt again, gets a piece of it, and it's foul. 0-2. Kind of surprised to see Liebert try and bunt, but the Rockford third baseman Blake Mosley is playing way back and shaded towards shortstop. The Rivets shifting a little bit on the infield for Liebert. Wade Elliott hugging the line at first. Brody Harding shifted towards the middle. Here's the 0-2. Tailing breaking ball too far outside, and it's 1-2. Warkentine liked the pitch, gets the ball back, walks around the mound for a brief moment, steps back on. 1 foot on the rubber, 1 foot off. He turns and delivers the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 strikeouts for Jace Warkentine to start the ball game. And there's 2 down in the Kenosha first. Rivets lead the Kingfish 1-0 in the top half of the first. And Justin Janis steps up with the bases empty. Janis, the freshman from the University of Illinois. Big Ten batting champion. Lefty on lefty once more. And the first pitch. Fastball paints the outer black for a called strike 1. Janis has played 4 games for the Fish so far this season, posting a batting average of .333. 3 RBIs, no homers. 0-1. Curveball curved a little too much as the catcher Drew Stengren reached out into the right-handed batter's box to catch that one, and the count is 1-1. Warkentine working quickly, and the 1-1 is on the way. Ripped down the right field line. That drops fair. Long run for Cam McDonald, who's over to fetch it into the corner. Janis is on his horse, and he's going to stop at second with a standing double. McDonald's throw goes all the way to third base, and it's an accurate one, so good thing Janis didn't test his college teammate's arm. But no less, the Fish have a 2-out runner in scoring position for the cleanup batter, Cam Redding. Janis got a fastball on the inner half, and he ripped it. It was a hard-hit ball. And Cam Redding has an opportunity to tie this one up. Rivets ahead of the Kingfish 1-0. Bottom of the first. Redding was 1 for 4 yesterday against the Rivets, including an RBI. First pitch. Swing and pulled through the left side into left field. Ziegler is up with it. Janis gets the stop sign at third, then the throw is cut off. It was a good throw by Greg Ziegler. The ball was not hit far away enough for the third base coach to give Janis the wave around. And it's back-to-back 2-out hits for Kenosha in the bottom of the first. So here's Dustin Crenshaw, the freshman from Grand Canyon, another left-handed bat. 4 out of the first 5 hitters are lefties. Crenshaw was 1 for 3 yesterday in his Northwoods League summer debut. Taps the plate twice, holds the bat out, stares out at Warkentine, working from the stretch in the first pitch. Fastball up and in, ball 1. Warkentine got knocked around a little bit against the Kokomo Jackrabbits on June 4th, allowed 8 hits and a lot of early runs. The kick and the 1-0. Fastball catches the upper part of the zone, taken for a called strike 1. But Warkentine surrendered 7 runs in the first 2 innings, a common trend for Rivets pitchers this year. He sets at the belt and comes home. Curveball taken for called strike 2. Jace has had great command on that curveball, throwing it for strikes. We'll see if he can get another strikeout. He's got 2 already. Runners on the corners for Crenshaw. The 1-2 pitch. Crenshaw doesn't chase a curveball well outside. It's back even at 2 apiece. Deuce is wild here in the first inning. 2 on, 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To the 4-hitter, Dustin Crenshaw. Warkentine sets, takes a breath. Here's the 2-2. Liner up the middle and through for a base hit. And this ball game is tied at 1. 3 straight 2-out hits for the Kingfish in the bottom of the first inning. And the Rivets lead does not last long. It's 1-1. That's Crenshaw's first RBI in the Woods. And there's a runner on first and second for Henry Kuziak, the sophomore from Missouri Southern. Kuziak squared off against these Rivets on opening day. Did not play yesterday, hitting .314 though. Has a 4-game hit streak, has not played since June 9th until now. The first pitch. Fastball high and away, ball 1. Kuziak does have 5 RBIs and 1 home run. Simmons Field certainly favors right-handed hitters. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss on a high fastball, and it's 1-1. As we mentioned in the top half of the inning, 300 feet straightaway left. They call it the Fishbowl Club. It's .314 down the line, so the Fishbowl Club juts out into left field. Makes it tricky to navigate for left fielders. 1-1 pitch to Kuziak, fastball high and away, taken for ball 2. So in the Rivets' 2 games here at Simmons Field, they've already seen 2 home runs. They allowed 1 in the 9th inning of their 6-1 opening day win over the Kingfish, and now Tyler Hawkins capitalizing in the top half of the first here. 2-1 pitch, pulled on the ground to third base. Blake Mosley fields, throws across the diamond to Wade Elliott to get Kuziak, and the inning is over. But Jace Warkentine surrenders 3 straight 2-out hits, and Justin Janis comes around to score. And we're tied at 1 after 1 at Simmons Field in Kenosha on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Going to the top half of the second inning in Kenosha with the Rivets and Kingfish tied at 1 apiece. Rivets driving a solo home run over the left field fence off the bat of Tyler Hawkins in the top half of the first. And then an RBI single by Dustin Crenshaw in the bottom half. Has this thing all square, lots of offense early on. It's more of a pitcher's duel early on yesterday in a 6-5 Rivets win. Cam McDonald steps in to face Dominic Hand, and the first pitch misses low and away. McDonald, Mosley, Cushing due up in the Rockford second. 5, 6, 7 in the order. McDonald was 2 for 3 yesterday with 2 RBIs. Righty on righty, the 1-0 misses low and away again, and it's 2-0. Another Big Ten on Big Ten matchup. And the righty from Michigan State, and McDonald, the outfielder from Illinois. 2-0, you guessed it, low and away again. Another fastball, and it's 3-0. McDonald struggled a little bit to get going before yesterday. Comes in with a batting average of 200. 3-0 pitch, fastball called strike. That time looked a tad closer to the inside corner. And the count is 3-1. McDonald roped a double yesterday that hit the foul pole at Rivet Stadium. 3-1, pulled on the ground to shortstop. Leslie charges, gathers, throws onto first, and Redding can't make the scoop. Cam McDonald reaches on a throwing error by Josh Leslie. The Rivets have a base runner here in the second inning. Tie ball game 1-1 between Great Lakes East rivals. Rivets trying to climb out of the basement of the division. Kenosha in second. And Blake Mosley steps in, the third left-handed batter for the Rivets in the order, the sophomore transferring from Missouri State. First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike one. Blake did not play yesterday. The last time he played was on Tuesday in Kokomo. And he went yard in that game. It was the Rivets' first home run of the season, and it was a no-doubter. Next pitch is in there for a called strike. The count is 0-2. Fastball painted the black. And Mosley is behind. McDonald with a small lead being held off first base. And the 0-2 is on the way. Swinging a foul back off the screen, and we'll do another 0-2. Mosley, a native of Ozark, Missouri, just outside of Springfield, where Missouri State is located, so he's going to have to move a little further from home. Another 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball on the outer black, taken for a called strike 3. Blake's not happy. He's shaking his head on his way back to the first base dugout. But he's out number 1 in the top half of the second. It's Dominic Hand's first strikeout in this one. Here's Jared Cushing with Cam McDonald on first base. Rivets and Kingfish tied at 1. Jared was 2 for 4 yesterday with 2 RBIs. Hand sets at the belt and fires the first pitch as the runner goes. Throw down to second is not in time to get McDonald. The throw was high. The shortstop Leslie fielded it well above his head. McDonald's slide slowed him down, but his 6'5" height probably helped him out there as he was able to reach out and touch the bag just in the nick of time. Runner in scoring position for Cushing now. That's McDonald's first stolen base of the season. And time is called by Cushing. Count is 0-1 on the redshirt freshman from Xavier. 5 RBIs. Stands at 6'3" in the right-handed batter's box. The set. Long pause. And the 0-1. Fastball on the outer black, taken for a called strike 2. Pretty wide strike zone here early on from home plate umpire Spencer Kim. And now Cushing needs to be ready to protect. Clouds starting to roll in over Simmons Field on this toasty Friday night in Kenosha. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Breaking ball just nicked foul. Cushing reached out, got a piece of it with the end of the bat. and it's still 0-2. Cushing steps out of the right-handed batter's box, fiddles with his batting gloves. Still batting with a splint of sorts on his right middle finger that he broke during play at Xavier. Dominic Hann is ready for another 0-2. It's on the way. Fastball outside. The count is 1-2. The Rivets have taxed Dominic Hann with a lot of pitches early on, a lot of good at-bats. Hann at 28 pitches through 1 1/3 innings. Rivets and Fish tied at 1, top half of the second. Cam McDonald on second base for Cushing. 1-2 pitch. Slow breaking ball popped up to the right side of the infield in foul ground. Cam Redding in front of the warning track, in front of a seating area. He makes the play, and there's 2 down. And here's last night's hero, Greg Ziegler, the sophomore transferring from Missouri State. Was 0 for 3 yesterday, but poked a sac fly into right field in the 9th, which scored Wade Elliott from third base, and the Rivets walked it off in a 6-5 win. Rivets looking for their first back-to-back victory of the season. Ziegler is just 2 for 22 on the season. He had a great approach in that final at-bat last night. He only saw 1 pitch, and you could tell he was looking to shoot it the opposite way. Dominic Hann with a long pause, looks home, looks back at McDonald. Time is called before the pitch. Hann was about to go into his delivery, took a step towards the plate, and had to pause. Ziegler steps back in the right-handed batter's box, taps the plate a few times, and leans back, hands held high above his black batting helmet. And the first pitch. Fastball yanked, low and outside, and Cam McDonald sneaks to third base as the pitch gets to the backstop. So there's a runner on third base for Greg Ziegler, looking for RBI number 3 of the season. Ziegler, a native of Joliet, Illinois. Not too far from home this summer in the Northwoods League. Rockford, about an hour and 45 minutes from Joliet. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball low and away to the Rockford left fielder, and it's 2-0. Sam Beers in the vicinity of third base. Not holding on Cam McDonald, who takes a short lead in the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, broken bat, and knocked down by Beers at third base. He gathers and throws in time. And Rockford strands Cam McDonald on third base. The broken portion of the bat tomahawked above the Kenosha dugout. Everybody's okay. And we head to the bottom of the second inning in a tie ball game between the Rivets and Kingfish, each at 1 apiece. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Rockford Rivets and Kenosha Kingfish tied at 1 apiece as we go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Casey O'Laughlin, Sam Beers, Josh Leslie marking the lower third of the Kenosha order. Both teams pushing across 1 run in their first inning. Rivets on a Tyler Hawkins solo home run to the short porch in left field. And the Kingfish on an RBI single by Dustin Crenshaw to score Justin Janis. Chase Warkentine out there for another inning of work. He struck out the first two batters he faced before surrendering 3 straight base knocks. And the first pitch to O'Loughlin is bunted foul up the third base line. Third base side would be more of an accurate description. That one was well foul near the Kingfish dugout, which is a ways away from the third base line. Warkentine working from the windup with nobody on. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another bunt attempt, and O'Loughlin bunted right through it. It's 0-2. Lots of bunt attempts early on for the Kingfish. O'Loughlin, the 5th and final lefty in the Fish order. Was 1 for 4 yesterday with 2 RBIs. The 0-2. Swing, check swing. The appeal down to first base. He did go around. Breaking ball low and away in the dirt. And that's strikeout number 3 for Jace Warkentine. And the first out of the bottom of the second inning. Warkentine's got that curveball working today. Getting a lot of fish to chase early on. Rivets in Kenosha tied at 1. Bottom of the second. Here's Sam Beers, the former Rivet. Played the final 2 weeks of the season for Rockford last summer, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled off the front leg of Beers. He walks it off, looks to be in some pain. He's got a leg guard on that front ankle, but it seems as if those foul tips always miss the protective gear. I don't have any science to back that, but that always seems that way. Warkentine back on the rubber. Rocks and fires the 0-1. Slow breaking ball taken high above the Bears text across the front of Beers' uniform. Of course, the Kingfish sporting Negro League tribute jerseys. 1-1 pitch. Zips in there. High chopper down to third base. Mosley charges, gloves, tosses across the diamond. The stretch by Wade Elliott, and they got him. The throw from Mosley was quick enough to beat Sam Beers by a step. And there's 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the second inning for Kenosha. Here's Josh Leslie with the bases empty in a 1-1 tie. Leslie, the junior from McNeese State. Today's shortstop, did not play yesterday. Righty on left-handed pitcher. The first pitch is a fastball that bounces in front of the plate. Knocked down by Drew Stengren. The count is 1-0. Drew, in his second game in the Northwoods League this summer, joined the Rivets yesterday and jumped right into the starting lineup. Did a nice job. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and cued on the ground to second base. Robertson waits for it and throws on to first in time. And it's a 1-2-3. Bottom half of the second inning for Jace Warkentine. And our score holds. Rockford Rivets 1, Kenosha Kingfish 1 after 2 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Third inning in Kenosha with the Rivets and Kingfish tied at 1 apiece. Both teams scoring 1 run in their half of the first inning. Drew Stengren, Dylan Robertson, and Tyler Hawkins. 9-1-2 due up for the Rivets to face the right-hander from Michigan State, Dominic Hann, who allowed that solo shot to Tyler Hawkins in the first inning. The lone blemish on his day so far. Just 1 hit and 1 run. Cam McDonald reached on an error in the second inning, but was left stranded on third base. Drew Stengren was 0 for 2 yesterday with 2 walks, a few nice at-bats. And the first pitch to the righty misses upstairs. Drew turning away from a breaking ball above his helmet. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Drew taps the plate twice, rests the bat on his shoulder, now waves it back and forth. And the 1-0 pitch is on the way. Fastball low and away. Looked like Hand yanked that one a little bit. And it's 2-0. Drew, the freshman at Central Michigan. Chippewas able to make it to the College World Series Regional. 2-0. Fastball bounces over Kirk Liebert. Taken for ball 3. Talked to Drew about that before the game today. He said they put together a nice run in the MAC tournament. Were able to sneak in. Lost to Duke to end the season. Fastball down the middle, taken for strike 1. Lost to Notre Dame in the regional to end the season. The wind and 3-1 pitch. Fastball inside, and Drew draws a leadoff walk to start the Rockford third inning. Third walk of the season for Drew in just 2 games. And here's the top of the order in Dylan Robertson, who's 0 for his last 5. That's quite shocking for the freshman from Iowa Western Community College, because he has gotten off to a hot start to the season. Dylan led the Northwoods League in batting average through 5 games. Left-handed batter, right-handed hitter. First pitch. Fastball taken inside for ball 1. Robertson turning away from it. Fastball was down near the shoe tops. Robertson scraped some dirt around in that left-handed batter's box. The chalk line's now faint. Here in the top half of the third. Hand sets at the belt. Long pause in the 1-0 pitch. Grounded on to second. Crenshaw flips to second for 1. The relay play to first base, not in time. Robertson beats it out. It was a real close play at first base. But Stengren is cut down at second base. But the Rivets keep a base runner. Robertson reaches on a fielder's choice. And Tyler Hawkins steps to the plate. Hawkins 1 for 1 with a towering solo blast back in the first inning. Righty on righty. Hawkins, the redshirt freshman from Louisville. A hard swinger. Has 7 ribbies so far this season with that solo shot. He squares the bunt, pulls back. Liebert thought about throwing down to first base to check on Dylan Robertson, but he does not do that. And the count is 0-1. Hawkins rests the bat on his right shoulder with red batting gloves, with his dark gray Rivets uniform. 0-1 pitch, he squares the bunt again and pulls back. Breaking ball low and away. That's ball 1. Robertson with good stolen base speed on first base. We'll see if he takes off. JT Scara has been very aggressive with that in the early goings this season. Hand sets at the belt and fires the 1-1. Bunted up the third base line, rolls foul. 1-2 on Hawkins, who homered in a 1-2 count in the first inning. Got a fastball out over the heart, and boy did he elevate the pitch. At Rivet Stadium, it would have been a fly out to left field, but here it's 300 feet to straightaway left, and it hit an umbrella in the Fishbowl Club out there. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, waved that and missed, and Tyler Hawkins is retired for out number 2. First swinging strikeout for Dominic Hann. Second strikeout overall, and Wade Elliott steps to the plate with 2 down and a runner on first base. Rivets and Kingfish tied at 1. Season series at 2-1 in favor of the Rivets. They beat the Kingfish on opening day. here at Simmons Field and yesterday at Rivets Stadium. First pitch to Wade. Fastball catches the outer reaches of the zone on the outside corner. 0-1. Wade flied out to right field his first time up in the first inning. Takes a few check swings, brings the bat up above his shoulder. Stares out at hand, and the 0-1. Misses low and away. Ball one. The lights have been flipped on at Simmons Field as clouds start to gather above the field, and the weather radar tells me that we've got some rain on the way. And with his back turned towards first base, the righty fires the 1-1 pitch. Fastball again on the outer corner, and has gotten that call twice in this at-bat, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Rockford 3-batter. Robertson creeps off first base on his tiptoes, being held on by Cam Redding over there. And takes a deep breath and fires the 1-2 pitch. Curveball that bounces approximately 56 feet away from the rubber. Well out in front of the plate, knocked down by Kirk Liebert. The count is even at 2-2. Elliott with good power, probably enough to reach that short porch and left. Has not homered yet this season. He's got 4 ribbies. And lifts the leg and fires and hits Wade Elliott. Fastball up and in, caught his shoulder. He's all right. And he'll take a slow trot down to the first base bag. That moves Dylan Robertson up to second base. And up steps Brody Harding, perhaps the hottest hitter in the Rockford order as of late. Joined the team last week, a week ago in fact, last Friday. He taps his cleats a little bit, adjusts his navy blue and orange batting gloves, and climbs in the box. Harding flied out to right field. Flied out to center field to end the first inning. First pitch. Fastball low and away to the Rockford shortstop, and it's 1-0. Harding doesn't provide a big strike zone. Standing at 5'11", 180 in the left-handed batter's box. Digs in a little bit. Slightly open batting stance. Bat on his left shoulder. And the 1-0 pitch from Dominic Hand. Fastball down low, and it's 2-0. Harding with 5 RBIs this summer. I talked to him a little bit before the game about his brother, who is a talented basketball player, receiving Division I offers now. Just received one from Western Illinois just a few short days ago. Brody waits for the 2-0 pitch, and time is called. But I asked Brody about that. He said, yeah, he's not a baseball guy. He's a basketball guy, and he's a little taller than I am. He said, I don't know why I didn't get any of that height. Of course, Brody, not the shortest guy, but below 6 foot. He stares out at Dominic Hand and awaits the 2-0 pitch. It's down low. Kirk Liebert knocks it down, can't find it. Now he recovers, picks up the baseball, tosses it back to Hand out there. The count is 3 balls and no strikes. Dylan Robertson on second base. He reached on a fielder's choice. And Wade Elliott on first after a hit by pitch. Elliott not being held at first base. He's got a nice hefty lead. Robertson just 2 steps off the bag at second base. He's got the shortstop Leslie right behind him. 3-0 on the way. Fastball down the middle, called strike 1. Harding taking all the way there. JT Scarra, Rivets manager and third base coach, signals to Dylan Robertson, you can take one more step off second base. Left side of the infield shifted for the lefty Harding. Hitters count, 3-1 pitch. Swung on and crushed. Deep right field, long run for Kuziak. He's at the track, he's at the wall, and it's gone. A 3-run homer for Brody Harding. Makes this game 4-1 in favor of the Rockford Rivets in the top half of the third. Just a few short weeks ago, Brody Harding crushed his first collegiate home run for the University of Illinois at Rutgers, and that one looked eerily similar to that blast over the right field fence And Brody puts the Rivets back in front. Rivets doing all of their scoring on long balls today. Harding brings home Dylan Robertson and Wade Elliott. And now it's bases empty and 2 down for Cam McDonald. Righty on righty. First pitch is down the middle. Taken for called strike 1. Cam reached on an error in the second inning. The wind in the 0-1. Fastball misses low. Kirk Liebert, the catcher, held the fastball in its spot. He thought it was a strike. Instead, it's even at 1-1. The wind up and the 1-1 pitch. Jam shot over the middle. Dustin Crenshaw, the second baseman, charges and throws and retires Cam McDonald at first base. And the inning is over, but not before Brody Harding cracks a 3-run home run over the right field fence, and the Rivets are back out in front. New score, 4-1 Screws, going to the bottom half of the third on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the third inning in Kenosha. Rivets ahead on the Kingfish, 4-1, thanks to 2 homers, a solo shot by Tyler Hawkins in the first inning, and a 3-run bomb by Brody Harding in the top half of this frame. Jace Warkentine pitching with a 3-run cushion as he will face the top of this Fish order, starting with McKay Barney, who struck out swinging in the first inning. The Rivets entered this game with just 1 home run this season by Blake Mosley. It happened on Tuesday in Kokomo, and now the bats are getting hot. Warkentine working from the right side of the rubber and fires the first pitch. Barney wanted to bunt again, pulled back on a fastball low and away, and it's 1-0. Mosley, the Rivets' third baseman, now shaded on the grass. He was pulled a little bit further back. Barney waves the bat back and forth, and the 1-0. Slapped back up the middle, gloved by Warkentine. He takes a few steps and flips onto first base in time to retire McKay Barney. A great play by the Rockford starter. Scored 1-3. There's 1 down in the bottom of the third. Rivets lead 4-1. It's called a little PFP. Routine play for Warkentine, who had to use some reflexes there. Full extension on his glove hand. Here's Kirk Liebert with the bases empty. Certainly a guy you want to face with the bases empty. League leader in batting average. 2 homers, 14 RBIs also up there on the league leaderboard. Warkentine winds and deals the first pitch. Fastball above the letters to Liebert, and it's ball 1. Wind starting to blow a little bit more here at Simmons Field. Wind blowing out slightly to left field, it looks like. 1-0 pitch. Fastball paints the inside corner, and it's 1-1. Liebert has had a few interactions with his former Rivets teammates today. Brody Harding, Cam McDonald, 2 guys chatting him up behind the plate. 1-1 on the way. Fastball catches the outer half. Right on the black, and it's 1-2. Warkentine has the strikeout stuff working today. He's already got 3, including 1 of Liebert back in the first. Kirk doesn't strike out that often, just 8 so far this season. Crowds the plate in the left-handed batter's box. The 1-2, swing and a miss. On a breaker in the dirt. Strikeout number 4 for Jace as he struts around the mound. There's 2 down in the bottom of the third. Rivets ahead 4-1, and here's Justin Janis with nobody on. Warkentine settling in nicely, allowing a first inning run on an RBI single by Dustin Crenshaw. Lefty on lefty once more in the first pitch. Fastball called strike. Again on the outside black. Warkentine has been pounding that spot early on, and why not? If you're going to get that call, might as well live there. 0-1 pitch. Big hack and a miss. Looked like Janis caught a piece of it into the glove of Stengren behind the plate, and it's 0-2. Janis doubled and scored his first time up in the first inning. He roped one down the right field line. Warkentine holds the glove above his face. Overhead windup and the 0-2 pitch, and it just missed Janis. For a second, it looked like it clipped his vanilla shaded pants. But instead, the count is 1-2. Warkentine working quickly, wasting no time out there. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3, he got him. 5 Ks for Jace Warkentine through 3 innings of work. And the Rivets maintain a 4-1 lead on the Kenosha Kingfish through 3 innings on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Going to the 4th inning in Kenosha. Rivets ahead on the Kenosha Kingfish by a score of 4-1. 2 home runs have the Rivets in front. A solo blast by Tyler Hawkins in the first, and a 3-run bomb by Brody Harding in the third. We Blake Mosley, Jared Cushing, Greg Ziegler. 6, 7, 8 due up, and Blake Mosley takes a breaking ball low and away for ball 1. Blake is 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout in the second inning. Has had the last few days off. Battling a little soreness. 1-0 pitch. Fastball in there. Blake didn't like that call. He steps out of the box and looks towards the sky, grimacing to himself. Really didn't like that call. Hand back on the rubber and fires the 1-1. Fastball outside. That time outside of home plate umpire Spencer Kim's strike zone. And Mosley's out and ahead 2-1. And rocks and deals. Swung on and poked down the third base line, heading into the seats for a foul ball. It's 2-2. Mosley with home run power himself. We've seen it this season. He's got 1. It came in Kokomo. Not exactly a hitter's park. 330 down the lines. Not super easy to reach with these wood bats. 2-2. Swung on and rolled over up the first base side, foul. And we'll have another 2-2 pitch. Chase Warkentine dealing on the other end of things for Rockford. Surrendered one first inning run and has settled in nicely since. 2-2 pitch, taking it in the dirt, and it's ball 3 on Blake Mosley. Blake transferring from Missouri State. He told me he wants to go to a junior college. Right on left, 3-2 pitch, chopped foul. Almost got a piece of Liebert, and we'll have another payoff. But I asked Blake if he's been in contact with any schools yet, and he named a few big names. I'll refrain from letting him loose here on the air, but he'll have no shortage of destinations. The payoff pitch slowing in, and that's a walk for Blake Mosley. Rivets have the leadoff man aboard here in the 4th inning. Screws out in front 4-1. And Jared Cushing steps up. He's 0 for 1 with a pop out to first base in the 2nd inning. Jared, the big middle infielder, can play a little bit of everything for the Rivets. He's the DH today. First pitch. Breaking ball a little outside, taken for strike 1. From our perspective in the press box here at Simmons Field, high above home plate, we can see right on top of it. Dominic Hand sets at the belt and delivers the 0-1, low and away for ball 1. Mosley with a decent lead at first base, got a big secondary. It's being held by Cam Redding over there. Middle infield shaded at double play depth. Josh Leslie at short. Dustin Crenshaw at second. And brings the glove down to the belt and fires the 1-1, low and away. That's been his miss tonight. Righty or lefty doesn't matter. Always outside and low. Has not missed high much. When he has missed, he's left it over the heart of the plate. Rivets have taken advantage. 2 long balls for them tonight. Cushing is without one this season. He's in a hitter's count. And 2-1 is on the way. Breaking ball bounces out in front of the plate. Mosley does not go. Liebert knocked it down. The count is 3-1. Cushing batting in front of his high school teammate Greg Ziegler. Both attended Joliet Catholic, a powerhouse in the South Suburban Conference. 3-1, grounded on the ground to short. Leslie Fields flips to second for 1. Crenshaw the relay in time to first base. Score at 6-4-3, twin killing. And the bases are empty for Greg Ziegler. Second double play ball that Dominic Hand has induced. First one was not turned all the way. Came back in the 3rd inning when Dylan Robertson grounded one to second base. Ziegler is 0 for 1 with a ground out to 3rd in the 2nd inning, and he watches the first pitch breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1. Rivets ahead of Kenosha 4-1. Dominic Hand at 70 pitches, so this inning will likely be his last. Action warming in the Kenosha Kingfish bullpen. 1-0 pitch, outside and low, and it's 2-0. Dominic Hand sporting the number 4. Not often that you see a pitcher with a single-digit number, but we've got 2 of them tonight, starting for both sides. 2-0, ran inside on Ziegler, turned away, almost hit him. The count is 3-0. Dominic has issued 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Working from the windup, kicks and delivers. Fastball in the dirt. That's a 4-pitch walk for the Rockford 8 batter. Greg Ziegler is aboard. Drew Stengren steps up. 2 down, top half of the 4th, and now Kirk Liebert and Cam Redding want to discuss with their starting pitcher. Some senior advisors for the right-hander from Michigan State. Just wrapped up his freshman year there. Kirk, a junior at Kentucky. Cam, a sophomore at St. Louis. Both head back to their stations. Kirk Liebert has played outfield for most of the season for Kenosha, but he is a catcher by trade, but he's just a great all-around athlete. Phenomenal speed for a catcher. Good arm, too. Rivets have tested it once, and they've been successful. Hand sets in the first pitch. Ripped into shallow right field. Long run for Kuziak, and he dives and makes the grab. A phenomenal diving play for the Kenosha right fielder. Ends the Rockford fourth inning. So they strand Greg Ziegler on first base. And Dominic Hand works out of trouble, and the score holds. Rockford Rivets 4, Kenosha Kingfish 1. Going to the bottom of the fourth on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the fourth inning at Simmons Field in Kenosha, with the Rivets leading 4-1 over the Kenosha Kingfish. Jace Warkentine pitching with 3 runs of cushion, and he's looked good through 3 innings so far. He's allowed 1 earned run on 3 hits. No walks and 5 strikeouts. He's got the curveball working today. He'll face the middle of the Kenosha order, 4, 5, 6, starting with Cam Redding, who's 1 for 1 with a single back in the first inning. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter, sophomore from SLU. Taps the plate twice, stares out at Warkentine, and the first pitch is a fastball high and in. Ball 1. Warkentine, a native of Winnebago, Illinois, located west of Rockford by just a few miles. Wind and the 1-0, pulled on the ground to third base. Mosley fields it deep in the hole, long throw in time to get Redding, who doesn't move the best. It's a 5-3 putout. And there's 1 down for Dustin Crenshaw. Rivets lead the Kingfish 4-1. Bottom of the fourth. Crenshaw 1 for 1 with the Kingfish lone RBI. He brought home Justin Janis on a single in the first. Warkentine is an alum of Winnebago High School, where he was selected as an academic all-state member. First pitch, curveball, misses lone outside. That is a high honor for an Illinois high school athlete. For the IHSA, they do not select many athletes. 1-0. Fastball lined into shallow left. The shortstop Harding is out just beyond the infield dirt. Reaches up and makes the grab. And there's quickly 2 down. But Winnebago High School, a good baseball program, of course, produced Warkentine, who's been a good arm at the college level for Western Illinois. He'll face Henry Kuziak with the bases empty. Rivets leading 4-1. Warkentine working from the right side of the rubber, winds and deals the first pitch to the righty. Swung on and ripped into right field, and it hangs up long enough for Cam McDonald. And it's a quick 1-2-3 inning as Jace Warkentine has set down 9 straight Kingfish. And the Rivets still lead by a score of 4-1. Going to the 5th on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Fifth inning in Kenosha. Rivets ahead of the Kenosha Kingfish by a score of 4-1. Great Lakes East battle between these teams. Rivets won yesterday. They own the season series lead 2-1. Looking to win back-to-back games for the first time this season. They're in a good spot as they will face a reliever in this fifth inning, Hayden Fox, the right-hander from UW-Whitewater, native of Stockton, Wisconsin. He's made 2 appearances this summer. He's gone 6 innings, 3 in each appearance, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He'll face the top of the Rockford order and Dylan Robertson, who's 0 for 2 with the fielder's choice. The wind and the first pitch from Fox. Fastball tails low and away. The final line on Dominic Hann. The freshman from Michigan State went 4 innings, surrendered 2 hits, and they were both home runs. Next pitch, fastball down the middle, taken for a called strike 1. Now that right there is called tough luck. But Hann surrendered 3 walks as well, 1-1 pitch. Fastball downstairs to Robertson, and it's 2-1. Hann fired 72 pitches. Early shower for him, the 2-1. Laced to shortstop, over a leaping Leslie, into left field. Long run for O'Laughlin to cut it off. He knocks it down. He almost stumbled, and he gets it back in. Robertson took a big turn around first, but he retreats, and it's a leadoff single for the freshman from Iowa Western. Robertson's days are limited with this Rockford Rivets squad. Up there in the league leaderboard for batting average, but he is headed to the driveline facility in Wisconsin. First pitch to Tyler Hawkins. He squares to bunt, pulls back, and takes a fastball over his head. 1-0. But at driveline, Robertson is going to lift some weights, going to go through a training regimen. 1-0 pitch, fastball outside. Robertson took a big secondary lead. Liebert gave him a look. Didn't throw, and it's 2-0. But baseball players know that that driveline facility has a great reputation. 2-0. Hawkins squares the bunt and gets it down the third base line. Long run for Fox to field and throw to first base. Not in time. Tyler Hawkins beats it out. He was zipping down the first base line. And the Rivets start the fifth inning with back-to-back singles. So here's Wade Elliott with 2 on, no out. Top half of the fifth. Rivets already on top 4-1. Seems like the Rivets bats are finally finding a little consistency. They entered this one ranked 17th in batting average, 5.3 runs per game. First pitch to Wade Elliott, liner up the middle, shallow, falling fast, long run for Barney. He dives and can't make the play. Robertson hustles to third. He gets stopped there. Hawkins up to second base, and Wade Elliott aboard with a third straight single for this Rivets order in the fifth. First base knock of the day for Wade. And here's Brody Harding, who sent one over the right field fence his last time up, a 3-run homer in the third. His first homer of the season. Brody has 8 RBIs this season, climbing the team leaderboard, now tied at the top with Dylan Robertson. First pitch, fastball on the outer black, taken for a called strike 1. But Brody looks much more comfortable in that left-handed batter's box in his second summer in Rockford than he did in the first. Righty on left-handed batter, 0-1. Swung on and chopped down to first base. Cam Redding fields, throws to the plate to get the force. Lever back to first, into right field. Tyler Hawkins is going to come home to score. Wade Elliott gets the stop sign at third base. Brody Harding up to second on the throwing error by Kirk Liebert. And the Rivets go ahead 5-1. Redding couldn't recover to get back to the bag in time, but the throw was high and in the foul territory side of the first base line. So Robertson cut down on the fielder's choice. He's the first out of the inning. Harding reaches on a fielder's choice and an error. Hawkins comes around to score. Wade Elliott to third, and Cam McDonald steps in. First pitch, swung on and lined into right field. Right at Kuziak, reaches above his head to make the play. Wade Elliott tags from third base. The throw is cut off. It's a sac fly for Cam McDonald. Make it 6-1 Rockford over Kenosha in the 5th. The line keeps on moving. Good things happen when you put the ball in play. Just 2 strikeouts for this Rivets order today. Struck out just 3 times yesterday. And with that play, Brody Harding moves up to third base. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Mosley is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. The first pitch. Fastball too far outside. Home plate umpire Spencer Kim gave it a good long look and decided it was ball 1. Hayden Fox working from the stretch. Comes set in a closed stance and fires the 1-0. Poked down the left field side and it screams into the seats. Bounces off an empty seat and into left field for a foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Ozark, Missouri native. Blake steps out of the box as the fans put their hands together. Kingfish fans looking for some energy, not much for them to cheer about. 1-1, swung on and popped up, foul over the screen. And it's 1-2. Rivets with 2 runs here in the 5th. They scored 3 on a Brody Harding home run in the 3rd and 1 in the 1st on a solo blast by Tyler Hawkins. Fox out in front of Mosley, 1-2. He takes a breath and comes home. Fastball low and in. Mosley moved his shoe tops a little bit. 2-2. Mosley with home run power himself. 2-2, off speed, called strike 3 on the outer half. Blake's not happy, but it doesn't matter. That's out number 3 in the Rivets' 5th inning. But the Rivets push across 2 more runs off of the reliever Hayden Fox, and they grow their lead to a score of 6-1. Going to the bottom half of the 5th on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Kenosha. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Jace Warkentine back out there for his 5th inning of work. Pitching with a big cushion. Rivets pushing across 2 more runs in the top half of this inning. Warkentine facing the lower 3rd of the Fish order, starting with Casey O'Laughlin, left-handed hitter from Azusa Pacific. Kenosha entered this one leading the league with a .294 batting average, but Warkentine has set down 9 straight. Lefty on lefty to start the inning, and the first pitch. Fastball misses low and away. O'Laughlin wanted to square around to bunt. He pulls back. The wind is whipping now, blowing in from right field. Left field here in Kenosha. 1-0. Fastball misses low and away again. And that wind is kicking up all sorts of floating tree seeds that look like small floating cotton balls, and it looks like snow. 2-0, swing and a miss. Nice curveball. And it's 2-1. I believe there's a storm rolling in from the direction of left field. That would be the northwest. Warkentine from the windup. 2-1. Breaking ball low and away, ball 3. But it is quite the phenomenon. We saw these floaters during batting practice, and They're currently covering the infield. 3-1 on the way. High chopper to second base. Robertson charges and flips overhand to Wade Elliott at first base to retire O'Laughlin. Out number 1 in the bottom half of the 5th. Rivets ahead 6-1 on the Kenosha Kingfish. A Metra train zips by beyond the right field fence. As you can probably hear, a little bit of wind blowing into the press box. But looking on the infield, those floating white seeds are lining the infield lip before the dirt comes into play. Sam Beers steps in 0 for 1, and the first pitch to him is a fastball outside. Beers grounded out his first time in the second inning. The junior at Concordia, Wisconsin, tore it up there this spring. Workentine, overhead windup, and the 1-0. Swung on and grounded onto second, and Robertson can't backhand it. It's into center field. That'll be scored a hit for Sam Beers. He's 1 for 2. And the Kingfish have a 1-out base runner in the bottom of the 5th inning. That wind howls on our field microphone. I think I'll turn that down a little bit. Josh Leslie comes up 0 for 1, the junior from McNeese State. Workentine from the stretch for the first time in a while. The first pitch swung on and fouled off the screen into the first base grandstand, and it lands right in a fan's lap. Looked like that fan didn't want any part of it, so they let it bounce off of him into the hands of another fan. No screens in front of the dugouts here at Simmons Field. It is a bit dangerous. Workentine pauses and comes home with the 0-1. Bunt attempt, fouled straight back. It's 0-2 on the 9 batter. Workentine working very well with the strikeout stuff. He's got 5 in good position for number 6. Top of the order, and McKay Barney waits on deck. He's 0 for 2. Kingfish pushing across their lone run in the first inning. Rivets ahead 6-1. Workentine with the ball behind his back, now sets at the belt. Gives a look at the runner, a long look, and now he delivers the 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses high. Stengren thought about throwing down to first, did not, and it's 1-2. Beers doesn't have great stolen base speed. Former Rivet with a minimal lead at first base, being held on by Wade Elliott. Now he gets a little bit more on the lefty Workentine. He slide steps and comes home, and it's a swing and a miss. Fastball outside of the zone. Got Leslie chasing. That's K number 6 for the Rockford left-hander. And there's 2 down for the top of the order in McKay Barney. Jace Workentine is dealing. Barney, the left-handed batter, is 0 for 2. Kingfish trails 6-1. 4th game of the season between these division rivals. And the first pitch from Workentine. Barney squares to bunt, pulls back, and takes the pitch high. It's been a busy inning for Stengren behind the plate. He's been faking towards first base a whole lot after Sam Beers reached on a 1-out single. He's not going anywhere, though. It'll be tough for Stengren to throw down to first with the left-handed batter Barney in the box. Workentine a big breath and delivers home. It's a bunt up the third base line, rolling, and it rolls into foul territory, and Blake Mosley touches it. Barely foul, and the count is 1-1. It's the only play that Workentine and Mosley had was to just let that one roll and hopefully spin over the chalk line, and it did. Barney, the fastest player on this Kenosha roster, leads him with 10 stolen bases. He heads back to the dirt circle, chatting it up with Spencer Kim and Drew Stengren, as if to say, I was hoping they were going to touch that. Would have been a base hit. Barney's average over 400 at 409. Batted in the 9th spot yesterday, up to the top spot today. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Nasty breaking ball from Workentine. The count is 1-2. Jace has not allowed a walk today. In his first outing, he walked 5. struggled with command on the Rivets' home turf back on June 4th. Looks much sharper today. Sets at the belt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball this time didn't curve enough. Misses high. And it's 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner on in the Kenosha 5th. Kingfish trailing by 5, 6-1 in favor of the Rivets. Lights shining down on Simmons Field as the wind continues to blow. Not as bad as it was a few minutes ago. Warkentine's 2-2 pitch. Fastball inside. Barney turned away from it. And the count is full. Leadoff batter working the count, as they tend to do. Barney adjusts his batting gloves, steps the left foot in the left-handed batter's box, taps the plate twice, waves the bat around. Now brings it above his shoulder. And the payoff pitch. Fastball inside, ball 4. First walk of the day issued by Jace Warkentine. 2 on, 2 out for Kirk Liebert, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 6th walk of the season for Jace. And Kirk Liebert has to take off his shin guards in the on-deck circle. In his first start, Jace Warkentine pitched at Rivets Stadium, as we mentioned a few moments ago. And there was a huge crowd from Winnebago out to attend. Of course, Winnebago located just outside of Rockford, Warkentine's hometown. And after the game, Warkentine took a picture with the whole crowd that came to visit him on the pitcher's mound. It looked about 30 deep. So Jace has got a lot of folks supporting him. But he's got a few fans in the stands today at Simmons Field, just about an hour and a half from Rockford. First pitch to Kirk Liebert. Swung on and driven into right field, and that falls in front of McDonald. Sam Beers around third base. He's going to be waved home. The throw gets all the way to the backstop. Here comes Barney, and now he retreats to third base after Warkentine recovered the baseball and got to the plate quickly. So that'll be a single and a throwing error to allow Liebert to move up to second base. And you could figure that Liebert was due for a base hit there. He knocks one, picks up an RBI as Beers scores from second base. And Rockford's lead is cut down to 6-2 here in the bottom half of the 5th. The threat is far from over. McKay Barney on third base, Liebert on second. And Justin Janis, the Big Ten batting champion, at the plate. He's 1 for 2 today with a double and a run scored back in the first. First pitch, waved at and missed. 0-1. Well, you could say that Warkentine could use a strikeout here. But, of course, with 2 outs, you can't really be thinking that. Any old out will do. Rivets' defense has looked good today. The set and the 0-1 pitch. Chopper to first. Playable for Wade Elliott. He makes it and runs to first, steps on the pillow, and the inning is over. But Jace Warkentine allows 1 run on 2 hits in the Kenosha 5th. Wade Elliott doesn't allow anything at all. And the score is Rivets 6, Kenosha 2 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Going to the 6th inning in Kenosha. Rivets on top of the Kenosha Kingfish by a score of 6-2. Chase Warkentine allowing just 1 run in the first, 1 run in the bottom half of the 5th. The Kingfish trying to mount a comeback. We'll see if the Rivets can get more insurance. They'll send up the lower third. Jared Cushing, Greg Ziegler, and Drew Stengren. Righty on righty. First pitch from Hayden Fox. Curveball almost hits Cushing. Leans out of the way. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. Fox, the right-hander from UW-Whitewater, surrendered 2 runs in his first inning of work in the 5th. Goes to the fastball, and that misses low and away. It's 2-0. Cushing adjusts the batting gloves. He's 0 for 2, grounded into a double play his last time. Watches a fastball low, and it's 3-0. Sun starting to set here in Kenosha. The wind and the 3-0 pitch. Fastball catches the outside part of the zone. And it's 3-1. Fox working quickly. And a fastball misses outside. Liebert held it there. Thought he might get the call on the outside part of the zone from the home plate umpire, Spencer Kim, but he did not. And the Rivets leadoff man is on once more. They put the leadoff man on. And now 4 straight innings. So here's Greg Ziegler. He walked his last time, 0 for 1. First pitch from Fox. Ziegler bunts it back to the mound. Diving play by Fox. Gets up and throws it away. Cushing quickly up. He's going to scamper to second base. And now the Rivets, with 1 down, have a runner in scoring position. It was a fantastic diving play by Hayden Fox to catch the bunt. And he threw from his knees, not even his knees, more like from his stomach. And it was wild. Made it to the Rockford bullpen, bounced off the wall down there. And now there's a runner in scoring position for Drew Stengren, who lined out to right field his last time. First pitch to the freshman. Fastball misses way upstairs. 1-0. That'll be the 3rd error of the game on the Kenosha Kingfish. Sloppy defense for them. 1-0 pitch. Fastball way outside. Liebert slides out of his crouch to snare it. And it's 2-0. Drew, a catcher at Central Michigan, has great plate discipline. He's not going to chase anything outside of the zone. And it's only taken a few at-bats for Rivets fans to see that. He's drawn 3 walks so far and limited ABs. 2-0, fastball misses low and away, and it's 3-0. Rivets lineup doing a great job taxing this Kenosha pitching staff. They chased Dominic Hann after 4 innings. He let up 3 walks. Now more of the same from Fox. 3-0, low and away, ball 4. Second walk of the inning issued by the Kenosha right-hander. And that will trigger a mound visit from Kenosha pitching coach Quentin McGrath. Top of the order due up, and Dylan Robertson, who singled his last time, was cut down at home plate on a fielder's choice. Rivets ahead 6-2 on the Kenosha Kingfish. Great Lakes East battle. Taking a look at the standings, Kenosha in second place, a game and a half back of Traverse City. Rockford tied for 6th in last place with Kalamazoo, 3 games back. Taking a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Battle Creek ahead of Kokomo 3-1 at Kokomo Municipal. Madison ahead of Wisconsin Rapids 2-zip. Traverse City ahead of Kalamazoo at Turtle Creek Stadium in Northwest Michigan. It's 4-2 in favor of TVC. Green Bay ahead 1-0 on Lakeshore at Capco Park. And Fond du Lac trails Wisconsin 3-0. And here in Kenosha, it's the Rivets 6 and the Kingfish 2. Dylan Robertson, the leadoff man, steps in. Jared Cushing on second base after a walk and an error. Drew Stengren on first after a walk. Corners come in. Middle infield at double play depth. Then the first pitch to Robertson. Fastball taken for a called strike one. Robertson tore up the JUCO circuit his freshman year at Iowa Western. 0-1. Fastball too far outside for ball one. Hit in the high 300s for the Reveres. Open stance, 1-1. Chopper to second, knocked down by Redding, and it gets past the second baseman Crenshaw, and everybody's going to be safe. If Cam Redding didn't touch that ball, it might have been a double play ball. But instead, the first baseman dove to knock it down. It got past him. And then Dustin Crenshaw tried to dive and knock it down with his bare hand, and he couldn't. And the bases are loaded for Tyler Hawkins. That'll be scored in E3. Fourth error of the game for Kenosha. And Tyler Hawkins has 2 hits today. First pitch. Fastball outside, taken for a called strike. Pitchers have gotten that call all night. It's been consistent, and it's 0-1. Hawkins sent a home run over the left field fence in the first. 0-1, fastball down the chute. Taken for a called strike two. Hawkins struck out swinging in third and then singled and scored in the fifth. But boy, does he have some pop. Usually a line drive hitter. 0-2, swinging a liner through the right side for a single. Jared Cushing comes home to score, and it's an RBI base knock for the Rockford 2 batter. His second run batted in today, and the Rivets get 1 run back that they led up in the bottom of the fifth. It's 7-2 Screws. 3-hit day for Tyler Hawkins. So everybody moves up 90. Cushing home to score. Stengren to third base. Robertson up to second. And here's Wade Elliott, who singled his last time. First pitch, swung on and lifted into shallow right. Long run for Kuziak near the line, and he gloves it just in front of the bullpen. And Stengren fakes towards the plate. Now he'll retreat, and Robertson is stuck in no man's land between second and third, but he retreats back to second. And Liebert didn't even throw it. If he threw it, maybe he thought that Stengren was going to come home from third base. So perhaps a wise move by Liebert, but he's chatting it up with one of his coaches who's sitting in front of the third base dugout. Maybe they thought otherwise. Scored an F9 for Wade Elliott. That's the second out of this sixth inning. Rivets ahead 7-2, 1 run in the top half of the sixth. And here's Brody Harding with the bases juiced. Brody's got a 3-run home run to his name today. First pitch. Fastball, lower part of the zone, taken for a called strike. It's down the middle. Harding taps the plate, looks very comfortable on the left side. 0-1. Liner through the left side, and that sinks and falls in front of Casey O'Laughlin. 1 run is in. A second around third, and he is tagged down at the plate. Dylan Robertson was out by a mile. An aggressive send by JT Scara, and Robertson is the third out of the inning at home plate. But Stengren comes home to score, and the Rivets increase their lead to 8-2 with a 2-run sixth inning. We're going to the bottom half. Our new score, Rivets 8, Kenosha Kingfish 2 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the 6th inning at historic Simmons Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with the Rivets out in front by a score of 8-2 over their division rival. Rivets with runs all over the line scored tonight. 1 in the first, 3 in the third on a 3-run home run by Brody Harding. 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Plenty of run support for Jace Warkentine, who has worked efficiently and certainly worked well. 64 pitches through 5 innings. Surrendered 1 run in his last frame. We'll see if he can get back to tossing up zeros. We'll face Cam Redding, Dustin Crenshaw, Henry Kuziak here in the 6th. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter in the first pitch to Cam Redding. Swung on and lined to shortstop. Diving backhanded grab by Harding. The throw across the diamond is not in time. The throw brought Wade Elliott off the bag at first base. That's a hit for Cam Redding to start the 6th inning. Redding with 2 singles today. And here's Dustin Crenshaw, who had an RBI single in the first inning. Clouds continue to shade over Simmons Field. Storms perhaps rolling in. No rain has fallen, but it certainly has cooled down a little bit. Sun is still shining, but just behind clouds. Left-handed batter, left-handed pitcher, and the first pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. Looked like it was on the inner half to Crenshaw, who popped out to shortstop his last time. Double play in order, so the Rivets infield adjusts accordingly. Warkentine takes a breath and fires the 0-1. Swung through, throw down to first base, and they got him. Drew Stengren back picks Cam Redding, and that's out number 1. Crenshaw squared to bunt, and he bunted through it. It's not every day you see a back pick with a left-handed batter in the box. 1 down, 0-2 count on Crenshaw now. It's got to feel good for Warkentine. He delivers the 0-2. Breaking ball misses outside. Pretty close to the zone that Spencer Kim has been calling all night. Warkentine not phased. Comes home with the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. As the curveball well outside. And that's out number 2 in the bottom half of the 6th. Strikeout number 7 of Jace Warkentine's outing. And now it's up to Henry Kuziak. Kuziak is 0 for 2, sophomore from Missouri Southern. Faces the first pitch, squares the bunt, and bunts through it. For whatever reason, the Kingfish have squared to bunt a lot tonight. To no avail, largely. They've gotten maybe 1 bunt down. Warkentine rocks and deals the 0-1. Fastball inside off the mitt of Stengren. Doesn't matter with nobody on. Warkentine gets the baseball back. Warkentine's hometown high school team, Winnebago High School, will play at Rivet Stadium on Monday night as they have made IHSA Super Sectionals. They won their sectional tonight. And their alum, Jace Warkentine, doing good things in the Northwoods League. 1-1 is swung on and popped up. Right side, Wade Elliott into the Rockford bullpen and foul ground, and it drops. He lost it. Looked like a Bermuda Triangle of sorts as Rockford arms were warming up. One of them down there looks like a left-hander, but Cam McDonald, the right fielder, Wade Elliott, the first baseman, and Dylan Robertson, the second baseman, all converged, and nobody caught it. So new life for Kuziak, looking to avoid his first strikeout of the night. Warkentine with the new baseball, working from the right side of the rubber as he has all night. And the 1-2, tapped foul, will do it again. Kuziak playing at the Division II level for Missouri Southern, looking to extend a 4-game hit streak. Had 12 homers this spring for Missouri Southern. Hit .341. 1-2 to him. Swung on and popped up, this time in fair territory on the right side. Robertson gives way to the right fielder, McDonald, who's a few steps in front of the infield, and makes the grab to retire the side. So Jace Warkentine retires Kenosha in order, faces the minimum after a leadoff single and a back pick by Drew Stengren And the score remains Rockford Rivets 8, Kenosha Kingfish 2 on the Rockford Rivets radio network. Rivets ahead of the Kenosha Kingfish 8-2 as we go to the 7th inning. It's a third arm on for the Kingfish. Mike Paracco makes another call to the bullpen. It's Mitch Waletsky. He's a right-hander and has made 4 appearances and hurled 5 2/3 innings pitched so far this summer. The righty from University of Minnesota Duluth will square off against Cam McDonald, Blake Mosley, Jared Cushing. 5, 6, 7, the Rivets order. First pitch. Fastball outside as the Kenosha crowd sings Sweet Caroline. Despite the song not being played over the PA system, was being played at the break. Waletsky winds and deals the 1-0. Fastball in there for a called strike. McDonald has reached once tonight on an error, was left stranded on third base in the second inning, grounded out in the third. 1-1. Clipped and fouled back to the screen, and it's 1-2. His last time, McDonald had a sac fly into right field. Brought home Wade Elliott. Waletsky shakes off Liebert, now gives him the nod, and comes home with the 1-2. Fastball, swing and a miss, he got him. Cam McDonald is set down on strikes for the first time tonight. 4th strikeout for this Rivets order. They struck out just 3 times yesterday. Rivets won over these Kingfish 6-5. Rivets looking for back-to-back victories for the first time this season. Blake Mosley steps up with the bases empty. He struck out twice tonight. Left-handed batter awaits the first pitch and takes it in the dirt. Kicks up a cloud of dust, and it's 1-0. It is still quite dark over Simmons Field, just due to some clouds. 1-0 pitch. Fastball inside again, and it's 2-0. Lights are on. And if there were no clouds, the sun would still be shining pretty well as it sets in the Midwest horizon. Cloud cover abundant here. 2-0, low and away, ball 3. Blake has walked once today. Rivets ahead of Kenosha, 8-2. Top half of the 7th. Waletsky with a conservative windup, and the 3-0 is poured in there. Down the middle, taken for a called strike 1. Blake boasting an on-base percentage of .500 entering this matchup. 3-1. Fastball called strike. Blake was ready to toss the bat back to the first base dugout. Safe to say he's not been happy with Spencer Kim's strike zone tonight. And now the payoff pitch from Mitch Waletsky. Fastball in the dirt, and that's ball 4. It gets away from Kirk Liebert, who has to chase it just in front of the backstop. And the Rivets have runner on. Jared Cushing steps up. He walked his last time. Kenosha's bullpen struggling with command. Waletsky on in relief of Hayden Fox, who went 2 innings issued 3 walks, 1 strikeout. 3 earned runs, 4 runs total. Jared Cushing hitless today, though. 0 for 2 with that aforementioned walk and a run scored. Mosley with a big lead on first base. Quick check on him. He dives back safely. No tag from Cam Redding. It was very hot earlier today. In Rockford, it was up near 95 degrees. First pitch to Cushing. Swings and lines it foul over the grandstand. Bounces off of a small structure on the concourse. And it's 0-1. The heat index was probably up near 100 in Rockford. Here in Kenosha, a little cooler with the breeze coming off the lake, but it is really cooled down now. Probably into the low 70s. And it feels nice. Another check on Mosley. Dives back safely. This time a tag from Redding. Wind now swirling a little bit. Looks like it's blowing in from right field after it was blowing in from left a few innings ago. 0-1, it hit Cushing. And he tosses his bat back to the dugout in frustration. He's okay, though. Wasn't expecting that one to run in so far, so he didn't really turn away from it, and that one hit him on the side or the chest even. So here's Greg Ziegler in a big spot. 2 on, 1 out, top half of the 7th. Ziegler is the beer batter here in Kenosha. Was last night's hero, hit the walk-off sac fly. Maybe they're trying to get some revenge for that. Waletsky holds the ball in his right hand and comes set at the belt. First pitch to Greg. Swung on and fouled off. Out of play. Over the net on the right side and out of the stadium. They're getting so excited for this beer batter, they're counting down the strikes. This crowd needs something to cheer about. Rivets ahead 8-2. Righty on righty matchup here. Greg looking to reach for a second time tonight. 0-1. Swing and a miss. High fastball. And now he's a strike away from getting all these fans a beer discount. Kenosha drawing a crowd tonight of 1,657. Kenosha draws very well. Now they get a little chant going. They're excited. Waletsky looking to set down Ziegler for Rockford's 5th strikeout. I think he's feeling the pressure. He's stepped off the rubber a few times. Run through the signs with the catcher Liebert. Stares in an open stance from the stretch, and time is called. This time by Ziegler. Little cat and mouse game being played for the 0-2. Ziegler taps the plate, holds the bat out, stares out at Waletsky. He's trying to give the fans a beer discount, trying to keep the Rivets off the board here in the 7th. 0-2, swung on and missed. Ziegler set down. He holds the bat out in frustration as he starts to walk back to the first base dugout. And there's 2 down in the Rockford 7th inning. 2 runners on, Rivets ahead 8-2. And here's the 9-batter, Drew Stengren. He's walked twice. So in his 2 games in the Northwoods League, he's drawn multi-walk games both times. First pitch to the catcher, fastball outside. Stengren taps the bat on the plate, gets his bearings. Long pause from Waletsky, taking his time. And now Mosley takes off for third base, and nobody even noticed. The crowd certainly did. And looking at the crowd, I think some people are surprised. Cushing didn't move up to first, but Mosley saw that Waletsky was taking absolutely no time at all to look at him, so he just dashed to third. Another run 90 feet away for Drew Stengren, looking for RBI number 1 of the summer. Righty on righty. And the 2-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle, taken for a called strike, right at the knees of Stengren. 2-1. Drew's a line drive hitter. He's barreling up a lot of balls in batting practice. Good opportunity for him here. 2 down in the 7th. Rivets ahead 8-2. And the 2-1 pitch swung on and lifted down the right field side, and that finds the seats for a foul ball. It hit a fan's hand, and he couldn't make the play. Kenosha second in the league in attendance entering this game. They've drawn very, very well. Good Friday night crowd, as you might expect. On Negro Leagues tribute night. They're honoring the Negro Leagues every Friday here in Kenosha. 2-2 swung on, poked into right field. This time playable for Henry Kuziak, and he reaches above his cap and makes the play, and the inning is over. So Mitch Waletsky walks 2, but nothing comes of it. And it's stretch time at historic Simmons Field with the Rivets leading the Kingfish 8-2 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Rivets ahead on Great Lakes East rival, the Kenosha Kingfish, by a score of 8-2. Fourth game of the season series between these opponents. Rivets took yesterday's matchup 6-5 in walk-off fashion at Rivet Stadium. And the home-and-home series wraps up here in Kenosha as Jace Warkentine is out for a 7th inning of work, and before the inning, Drew Stengren, the Rivets catcher, was the final out of the inning, so he took a little bit of time to get out of the dugout. So Rivets manager JT Scara warmed up Jace Warkentine. Not every day you see the manager out there catching pitches for the pitcher. Rivets are short-staffed. It's just JT Scara through 11 games. Doug Coe will join the team tomorrow as the pitching coach. Lefty on lefty. First pitch to Casey O'Laughlin, who drops down a bunt. Foul up the third base side. And once again, the Kingfish tried to bunt to no avail. Blake Mosley is shifted a little bit towards shortstop for the left-handed batter. The junior headed to Azusa Pacific is 0 for 2. 0-1, another square to bunt, and he pulls back. And it's 1-1. O'Laughlin struck out swinging, was Warkentine's third strikeout victim in the second, and grounded out to second in the 5th. The wind and the 1-1. Swung on and popped up. Shallow center, second baseman Robertson out, and Hawkins, the center fielder, in, makes a running grab at the letters for out number 1. So up steps Sam Beers with the bases empty. Rivets ahead 8-2 on the Kenosha Kingfish. Beers singled his last time up and came around to score in the 5th. Kenosha doing its scoring with 1 run in the 1st and 1 run in the 5th. That's all that Warkentine has allowed. He fidgets with the baseball in his glove and comes home with the first pitch. It bounces in there. Nobody on base, doesn't matter that much. And it's 1-0. Drew Stengren, the catcher for Rockford today, relieves Max Malley, who caught about 4 straight games for the Rivets. I asked Max today, I said, how are the legs feeling? He said, pretty good. 1-0, liner up the middle. Falling fast, Robertson into shallow center, and he makes a running grab over the shoulder. The freshman twists into center field as he slows down. Gives some air high fives to his teammates out in the outfield. And there's 2 up, 2 down in the Kenosha 7th. Here's the 9-batter, Josh Leslie. What an outing it's been for Jace Warkentine. 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. 6 hits allowed. First pitch, Leslie squares to bunt, pulls back, and it's ball 1. Leslie is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Warkentine's curveball has been dominant. Southpaw has been oh so good. 1-0. Fastball misses low. Leslie pulled back a bunt again, and it's 2-0. Crowd is humming despite the Kingfish being down big. Everybody's having a good time on this Friday night. Wind into the 2-0. Swung on and hit well into left field. Greg Ziegler over into the gap, and he makes a running grab. So the Kingfish knock around 3 balls that look like they could have been hits in the inning, but they're all out. Good defense by the Rivets, and it's a 1-2-3 frame for Jace Warkentine. If that's all for his evening, it was a good one. He limits the Kingfish to 2 runs. Rivets lead 8-2 going to the 8th on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. We move to the top half of the 8th inning in Kenosha with the Rivets ahead on Great Lakes East rival, the Kenosha Kingfish, 8-2. Rivets scoring early, and that scoring has continued often into the late stages of the game. Tyler Hawkins hit a solo home run in the first inning to start us off. Kenosha responded with 1 run in the bottom half. It's been all Rivets since. 3 runs for them in the 3rd on a Brody Harding 3-run blast. And they scored 2 more in the 5th and 2 more in the 6th. Kenosha with 1 run in the bottom of the 5th off Jace Warkentine, whose night might be over. He might keep going. Why not? Rivets look for even more insurance, sending up the top of the order to face Mitch Waletsky in his 2nd inning of work. Dylan Robertson, left-handed batter, steps in and takes a fastball low. Waletsky pitched a scoreless 7th, worked around 2 walks, working quickly now, and the 1-0. Fastball low and away. Waletsky sporting baggy pants. Negro League tribute uniforms for Kenosha. 2-0, misses low and outside. And it's 3-0. But perhaps the most standout part of Waletsky's get up is the orange cleats. 3-0, down the middle, taken for a called strike. Robertson has reached the last 2 times on an error in the 6th and a single in the 5th. The wind and the 3-1. Fastball taken low for ball 4. It's a leadoff walk for the Rivets leadoff batter. That brings up Tyler Hawkins with 1 on, nobody out. Top half of the 8th. Rivets out in front 8-2. This is the last meeting between these two sides until the second half. They'll clash again here in Kenosha on July 6th and 7th. First half ends in early July. First pitch to Hawkins. Big hack and a miss. Comes up empty. He's looking for the fishbowl club out and left. He homered there earlier. The ball hit an umbrella. Otherwise, I think Casey O'Laughlin, the left fielder, would have had a play on it. Check on Robertson. The pickoff throw gets away. Redding gives chase. Robertson up to second base. And there's a runner in scoring position with no outs for Hawkins. Hawkins has a 3-hit day. 2 RBIs for him. 2 singles in addition to that solo homer. The redshirt freshman from Louisville, showing why he's at a talented baseball school. Rests the bat on his shoulder. Looking out at Waletsky, working from the stretch. Sets at the belt. 0-1. Fastball high. 1-1. Looking at the Rivets bullpen. There's a pitcher standing on the mound, but he is not throwing to anybody. No bullpen catcher to be found down there. And the Rivets dugout, Jace Warkentine stands or sits on a chair all by himself watching the action. 1-1. Fastball catches the outer part of the zone. Taken for strike 2. And in my interactions with Jace, it seems like a guy who would be very intense on his starting days. Very nice guy. Sporting a mullet and a mustache. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the ball game for Tyler Hawkins. That's strikeout number 3 for Mitch Waletsky as Kenosha plays the New York Yankees jingle that they play after strikeouts at Yankee Stadium. There are a few sounds I dislike more. I don't watch the Yankees much, and that's one of the reasons. So here's Wade Elliott with a runner on second base. Rivets ahead 8-2. Top half of the 8th. Thanks for joining us on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Righty on righty. Elliott swings and belts it into deep left. O'Laughlin watches it go. 2-run home run for Wade Elliott. And the sophomore headed to Louisiana Tech picks up his first bomb of the summer. It's 10-2 Rockford. Third homer of the night for the Rockford Rivets as they play long ball. And they're well on their way to their first set of back-to-back victories of the season. Jace Warkentine out of the dugout to give Wade Elliott a high five in addition to most of the Rivets bench. Rivets all over that fishbowl club in left, but Elliott drove that one so deep it would have been off the wall at Rivet Stadium on the fly. First pitch to Brody Harding. Fastball misses inside. We've talked about that fishbowl club a lot because it's such a huge advantage for right-handed hitters. Just 300 feet to straightaway left. 1-0 to Harding. Fastball taken for a called strike outside. Harding homered, was of the 3-run variety in the third. Had an RBI single in the 6th. A 4 RBI day for Brody. Now into the team lead for RBIs. 1-1, swung on and popped up. Into foul territory on the third base side, and it falls into the seats. And it's 1-2. So doing a little scoreboard watching as the Rivets try to climb the standings. Battle Creek ahead of Kokomo 4-2, top half of the 9th. And Kalamazoo trails Traverse City 4-2 in the top half of the 7th. So if Kalamazoo loses and Rockford hangs on to their 8-run lead, they will be out of last place into 5th. The 1-2 to Harding. Fastball called strike 3 outside. Harding stands in the box, leans his head backwards, and now makes the slow walk back to the dugout. Strikeout number 4 by Mitch Waletsky in relief. First of the looking variety. It's been a wide strike zone all night for home plate umpire Spencer Kim, but it's been consistent. So here's Cam McDonald, base is empty. Rivets ahead 10-2, and a breaking ball misses low and outside. Cam is hitless today, had a sac fly in the 5th. 0 for 3 overall. The 1-0 swung on and fouled back on top of the screen. That falls to the turf. Nice play made by Blake Mosley in the on-deck circle. Good to see Blake back into the lineup after 2 days off. Nice evening for baseball in Kenosha. 1-1 pitch to McDonald. Sham shot foul ball off the net, this time into the seats, and it drops into the concourse. It's a open air concourse at Simmons Field. Grandstands stretching from the on-deck circle on the first base side and the third base side all the way to the bullpens down the line. 1-2 fastball misses outside, 2-2. And then there's a grassy berm down the right field line, a picnic area down the left field line, and there is a single bowling lane at Simmons Field today. 2-2 swung on and popped into center field. Barney comes in, now he goes back and recovers to retire McDonald for the 3rd out of the 8th inning. But 2 more runs come across on a 2-run home run by Wade Elliott, his first of the season, and it's 10-2 Rockford Rivets as we go to the bottom of the 8th on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the 8th inning at historic Simmons Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with the Rivets ahead by 8, 10-2 score. And Jace Warkentine, the left-hander, is back out for an 8th inning of work. It will likely be his last. He enters the inning, tossed 82 pitches. There is action in the Rivets bullpen. A left-hander is warming up. I believe it's Forrest Barnes out of Missouri State. But if Jace can work an efficient inning, why not try to go the distance? This date 2 years ago in Rivets history, the Rivets pitched Brad Littleton out of Lewis University at the D2 level, and he took a no-hitter into the 9th inning and broken up with a leadoff single. So something about Simmons Field and dominant performances by Rivets pitching. McKay Barney, Kirk Liebert, Justin Janis. Top of the order for Kenosha. 4th time through. Here's the first pitch to Barney. Squares to bunt, pulls back, and it's ball 1. Barney has done that every single at-bat as the infield is shifted for the left-handed batter. Blake Mosley playing away from the grass beyond the third base bag, and the 1-0 squares the bunt again. Mosley charges, and it's bunted foul back to the screen, 1-1. Barney reached his last time on a walk. He was stranded on third base in the 5th. He struck out in the 1st and grounded out to the pitcher in the 3rd. Warkentine is all business. He is dialed in, standing on the rubber, just waiting for Barney to step into the box. The lefty rocks and fires the 1-1. Fastball high. Barney squared to bunt again and pulled back. 2-1. McKay Barney. Every time I say Barney, I can't help but think of the purple dinosaur. It's an interesting visual. 2-1. Fastball misses outside. And it's 3-1 to McKay Barney. Looking for back-to-back walks on his stat line. McKay headed to Washington this fall. Started his college career at BYU. Lefty on lefty, the 3-1 pitch. Squares the bunt again, gets it down. Blake Mosley charges, and he's not going to have a play. It's a leadoff bunt single by McKay Barney to start the bottom half of the 8th. And the Kingfish have life as they trail the Rivets 10-2. That brings up Kirk Liebert, who doubled his last time up in the 5th. It was of the RBI variety. His 15th ribby of the year. The former Rivet has torn up the Great Lakes division. Walking up to a little AC/DC. Good choice. Lefty on lefty. And the first pitch to the Kenosha catcher. Swung on, high chopper, could be 2 to second. Robertson to second for 1. Harding's relay. He got him at first. 4-6-3, pitcher's best friend. And Jace Warkentine is an out away from going 8 innings. It's the longest outing by a Rockford arm so far this year. And the inning comes down to Justin Janis, who started his day with a double in the first inning. 1 for 3 total. University of Illinois against Western Illinois. And the first pitch is swung on and missed. Janis, for a guy who hits so well for average, was the Big Ten batting champion. He has swung and missed a lot today. 0-1. Fastball outside, taken for a called strike 2. Jace Warkentine's Twitter handle is Ace with a J, and he is sure pitched like an ace for the Rivets today. Shakes off Drew Stengren. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. 8 strikeouts for the Rockford ace with a J in front. It's 10-2 Rivets going to the 9th inning. What a day by Jace Warkentine. He gets lots of high fives from his teammates going back to the dugout. It's 10-2 Rockford on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. We are going to the top of the 9th at Simmons Field in Kenosha with the Rivets out in front 10-2 on the Kenosha Kingfish. They're looking for some insurance. They probably won't need it, but it's a new arm out there for Kenosha. It's Harry DeLianis. He's a right-hander from Pomona Pitzer in California. He's made 3 appearances, and he has pitched to an ERA of 9.45. First pitch to Blake Mosley, liner up the middle and through. Leadoff single on the first pitch by Blake. The Rivets have a base runner to start the 9th inning. Leadoff man getting on in back-to-back innings in the late stages of this one. Rivets pushing across 2 more runs in the top half of the 8th on a 2-run blast by Wade Elliott. So now here's Jared Cushing, the 7 batter for the Rivets. He's reached back-to-back times on a walk. Otherwise 0 for 2. First pitch. Fastball down low, check swing, and Jared didn't go around. Light starting to take full effect at Simmons Field. Still pretty bright sunshine, but not direct. It's been heavy cloud cover off to the west as the sun sets. Next pitch, in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Wind is really whipping around Simmons Field, now blowing in from right field. Has not mattered for the Rivets. They have 3 home runs tonight. 1-1, jam shot pop-up on the infield to first base. Cam Redding makes the play with his foot on the bag. Blake Mosley making sure he's standing right on it, too. He did, and that's just the first out of the inning. Cushing is retired, and here's Greg Ziegler with a runner on. Second pop out to first base for Jared Cushing tonight. Greg Ziegler is in search of his first hit. He struck out his last time and got all the fans discounted beer here in Kenosha. They have done a very good job with promotions, in between inning entertainment here at Simmons Field this year. Tonight's promotion, Negro League's Tribute Night, every Friday at Simmons Field when there's a home game. Probably my favorite promotion in the league, if I'm being honest. First pitch to Ziegler, swung on and lifted into center field. Long run for McKay Barney, and he gets under it and makes the play. Blake Mosley hops on back to first base. And that's out number 2. Here's the 9-batter, Drew Stengren. Rivets out in front, 10-2. Top half of the 9th. We'll see if Chase Warkentine goes out for a 9th inning to try and complete and go the distance. Drew Stengren has 2 walks and 2 flyouts to right field. Righty on righty. First pitch from Harry DeLianis. Fastball inside. Before DeLianis came on, I think I heard somebody up here in the press box call him Scary Harry. And I think his ERA kind of matches that nickname. Not in a good way. Mosley with his lead. 1-0, misses outside. DeLianis' last time out, he went 1 inning. Did not surrender an earned run. Gave up 2 runs, though. 1-1. Fastball in the dirt. Gets by Liebert, and Mosley cruises on up to second base. Rivets have already broken this thing wide open. This feels like it could be a turning point in the season for Rockford. They have not been able to string together wins, literally. They have not won back-to-back games yet. That's certainly set to change tonight, barring a epic meltdown in the bottom of the 9th inning. Long pause from Harry DeLianis. He sets at the letters. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and poked down the right field side into the seats. And it's 2-2. Kenosha crowd still lively. They're engaged thanks to those in-between inning promotions. Earlier we saw one. It was a classic Little League home run where a small child hits the ball off the tee. 2-2, fastball misses upstairs and it's full on the Rockford 9-batter Drew Stengren. But a little kid hit the ball on the tee and, the infield fumbles with it and he runs all the way around third base. They threw the ball home and the little kid collided with Kirk Liebert, who did a phenomenal acting job. He had the ball in his glove and he drew a little bit of contact and flopped and made a big deal of it. It was quite entertaining. Every team in the league does that promotion, but it's probably the best acting job I've seen. Scary Harry comes set for the payoff pitch, and the fastball misses high. That's ball 4. 3 walks for Drew Stengren. On an 0 for 2 night, he's finding a way on base. He walked 7 times for Central Michigan this spring, and now he's walked 5 times for the Rockford Rivets. 2 on, 2 out for Dylan Robertson. Robertson, the leadoff batter. Walked and scored his last time in the 8th. A 2-run home run by Wade Elliott. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. And the first pitch to Dillon is on the way. Fastball misses high as a train chugs by in right field. Lots of sensations to take in at Simmons Field. Lots of different lights, the different sections. Lots of visuals to take in. It's a great ballpark. 1-0, swung on and hammered through the right side for a single. Mosley's going to get the stop sign at third base, and the bases are loaded for Tyler Hawkins. Rockford will not stop on offense today. The line keeps on moving. They entered this one with the 17th best batting average in the league, and that's sure to climb. That's Robertson's second base hit. His batting average will likely climb. I'm not going to do the math on the fly, but he entered this one with a 394 mark. Ducks on the pond for Tyler Hawkins. Rivets ahead 10-2, and the first pitch swung on and grounded foul up the third base side, and it's barehanded by Rivets manager JT Scare. A nice play by him. I bet he's going to be in a good mood after this one. Coming up next for Rockford, 2 games at home with the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. 0-1 to Hawkins. Fastball upstairs, ball 1. Hawkins lined tonight. A solo home run in the first. Strikeout, swing in the third. Single in the 5th, single in the 6th, and a strikeout in the 8th. Next pitch, fouled off the leg of Hawkins, and it's 1-2. Dylan Robertson was getting a head start at first base. Blake Mosley on third, Drew Stengren on second. Rivets looking for some insurance. That's superfluous. In a 10-2 game. Rivets on their way to win number 5. Once they finish it off, get them just 1 game below 500. 1-2 pitch above Hawkins' head. He ducks out of the way and creeps out of the right-handed batter's box. DeLeanis gets the ball back. Gazes in for the sign from Liebert. Sets at the chest. And the 2-2 pitch. Fastball lined into center field. McKay Barney has a beat on it, and he makes the grab, and the inning is over. Rivets strand the bases loaded in the 9th, but they're already ahead 10-2. It's going to take a rally of epic proportions for them, for the Kenosha Kingfish to come back in the bottom of the 9th. We'll see who the pitcher is coming up after a short break on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom of the 9th in Kenosha. Rivets looking to finish off a 10-2 game. Tyler Horvath is on in relief of Jace Warkentine, who went 8 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. A very, very good outing. The best one by a Rockford starter this season. He's in line for the victory, and Horvath comes in his first Northwoods League appearance this spring for University of Illinois Springfield. He pitched to a 5.06 ERA, went 10 innings, 11 appearances, all out of the bullpen, struck out 13, walked 6. He will face 4, 5, 6 in this Kenosha order, who will look to pull off a miracle, starting with Cam Redding. He's got 2 singles. He watches a fastball outside. Horvath with an electric fastball, low 90s. Second lefty for Rockford today. 1-0 pitch. Fastball high and away to Redding, and it's 2-0. What an outing for Jace Warkentine. Pause at the letters by Horvath in the 2-0. Big hack and a miss, and the bat goes flying into the seats and tumbles, and it looks like it may have hit somebody. It was in the vicinity of the Kingfish mascot, who is named Elvis. And now Elvis picks up the bat and messes with it a little bit. Looks like it came dangerously close to somebody, but they're all right. That's good to see, and the count is 2-1 on Cam Redding. And now Redding into the dugout to get a new piece of lumber, and he's going to rub it up with some pine tar. I will say there must be something with these Black Rawlings bats, because we have seen so many players lose their grips on them this year. Something that's happened to Wade Elliott for the Rivets this year a number of times. A lot of opponents it's happened to. And now today it happens to Cam Redding. He faces a 2-1 count to the left-hander Tyler Horvath. Working from the stretch with nobody on, kicks and delivers the 2-1, and it misses low. Kingfish promotional crew, marketing team doing a great job, and the mascot is certainly well promoted here at Simmons Field. 3-1, swung on and lined into center. Tyler Hawkins ranges over into right, gets under it, and makes the play. It's out number 1. Rivets ahead of the Kingfish 10-2. Bottom of the 9th. Rivets on their way to win number 5 of the season, winning back-to-back games for the first time. Here's Dustin Crenshaw, who's 1 for 3. I suppose I shouldn't get ahead of myself. The game is never over until the final out is recorded, of course. It ain't over till it's over, as Yogi Berra might say. First pitch, Crenshaw takes a fastball low. But one of the most unique things about Simmons Field is it features a zip line on the left field foul pole. 1-0. Fastball again misses outside, and it's 2-0. And before every game, Elvis the Kingfish zip lines in from left field. 2-0. Fastball catches the zone that time on the outer part, and it's 2-1. And there is a boat out there in left field, down the left field line, 314 feet away from the plate. The kick in the 2-1 pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike. And it's 2-2. So Elvis the Fish zip lines from the boat before every first pitch. And that's the first time I've ever seen a zip lining fish. Swung on in a high chopper to second base. Robertson backhands and throws to first, not in time. Kingfish have a base runner. Scored a single for Dustin Crenshaw, his second of his evening. And here's Henry Kuziak, who's 0 for 3. Kuziak, the sophomore from Missouri Southern, with a 4-game hit streak on the line. Needs a base knock to extend it. And the Kingfish need a miracle to come back in this one, down 10-2. Crenshaw with good speed on first base, takes his lead in the first pitch, gets away from Stengren. So Crenshaw didn't need a lead there, and he scampers up to second base. Runner in scoring position now. Last time the Rivets were at Simmons Field, they surrendered a home run in the 9th inning. A 6-1 opening day victory. Rivets looking to move to 2-0. Here in Kenosha, Crenshaw takes off for third base. Stengren's throw is not in time. It was on the money. Mosley's tag not down quick enough. Crenshaw slid in feet first, and Stengren's throw is a little bit too high. And the count is 2-0 on Henry Kuziak. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. And the 2-0 on the way. Fastball inside. Kuziak jumps out of the way. Hips shifting backwards a little bit. And it's 3-0. Horvath sets at the letters. Kicks and fires. Fastball down the chute. Taken for a called strike one. Casey O'Laughlin waits on deck. He's 0 for 3. Horvath delivers the 3-1. Fastball called strike on the outer black, and it's 3-2. Flags now steadying as the breeze lightens up a little bit, now coming in from left. And the payoff pitch, swinging a foul off the glove of Stengren behind the plate. Count still full. Lights now in full effect in southeastern Wisconsin. Horvath continues the battle. Another payoff pitch, and we'll have another as it's fouled off to the screen and drops below us into a stadium club area. Features stadium seats with seated tables. It's quite populated tonight. It'll be a nice place to watch a ball game. Another payoff pitch, and it misses outside. Henry Kuziak wins the battle. And there's runners on the corners with one down. Rivets ahead 10-2 in the bottom of the ninth. This one's getting stretched out a little bit after Jace Warkentine kept this game going at a real good pace. Went 8 innings, surrendering 2 runs. So O'Laughlin walks up to bad by Michael Jackson, and Drew Stengren goes out to visit Tyler Horvath, who I would not call bad quite yet, making his first Northwoods League appearance. Got to settle in a little bit. Blake Mosley in on the discussion, and it's a long one. And now the home plate umpire, Spencer Kim, is going to come out to the mound and say, all right, fellas, I'm trying to go home. Rivets are a double play away from getting out of it, and it looks like we've got a streaker. We've got a fan on the field in Kenosha. He's running around. He's running a lap around Tyler Hawkins. He came in from the right field line, and he's running around. He's behind Cam McDonald. Somebody come get this man. Where's the security? He's going to get away with it. He's going to hop the fence and head back to the fans on the berm. Wow, he got away with it. Oh, my goodness. He's on the loose, and if I were that guy, I would get out of the stadium pretty quick. Doesn't look like there's any security over near him. And now time is called as the game is delayed further. Wow. It's like everybody was pausing for the mound visit, and then all of a sudden a fan in a red shirt was in center field. First pitch to O'Laughlin, misses low and away. Wow. That's the first time I've ever seen that in a Northwoods League game. Probably the last time I'll ever see it. Usually that's just a feature at a Major League ballpark. 1-0 to O'Laughlin. Swung on, broken bat into the seats, and the ball is foul. Second broken bat that we've seen. It's split right above the handle, and the barrel goes tumbling over the seats. And it did not hit anybody. Get lucky again here in Kenosha. Count is 1-1 on Casey O'Laughlin. There was one time I did see a fan on the field in Denver at Coors Field, and believe it or not, the Colorado Rockies fan base is quite rowdy. It's a generally young crowd, a lot of beer to be had out there, and a fan ran on the field and he got absolutely leveled by security. Things a little less tight here in Kenosha. 1-1 to O'Laughlin. Ground ball to first base. Wade Elliott goes to second for one. Harding on to first. Not in time. Dustin Crenshaw comes home to score from third base. And O'Loughlin reaches on a fielder's choice. And the new score is 10-2 Rivets in the bottom of the ninth. But now Kenosha is down to its final out. Sam Beers, the former Rivet, steps in. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored in the 5th. Rivets have continued to put this game out of reach, scoring early and scoring late. First pitch to Beers. Fastball called strike, out over the heart. Rivets most recently scoring on a 2-run blast by Wade Elliott. 3 homers in this one for Rockford. A highlight-filled game as the Rivets will head back to Rivet Stadium tonight. 0-1 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. Strike 2. And Tyler Horvath has the Kingfish down to their final strike. These two teams won't meet for a little less than a month. Rivets will be back here on July 6th. Horvath from the stretch has his sign. Comes set and the 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses high and away. Kenosha pushing across 1 run here in the 9th. And a fan has pushed himself across the field. We've seen it all. Broken bats, flying bats. 1-2, swung on and fouled off. And we'll have another 1-2 pitch. You never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. A Negro Leaguer was in attendance today for Negro League night here in Kenosha. It was Dennis Biddle, the youngest ever pitcher in the Negro Leagues. He made his debut at 17 years old. 1-2, misses low and away, knocked down by Drew Stengren, and the count is 2-2. But Dennis made the hike all the way up to the broadcast booth. And if you've ever been to Kenosha, you know how difficult that is. You got to climb up the grandstand, then you got to climb up a second set of stairs to make it to the booth, which is on top of the grandstand. 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled off again. Sam Beers putting up quite the battle here. Kenosha still down to its final strike. Rivets in front 10-3. 1 run across in the bottom of the 9th. Jace Warkentine is the Rivets player of the game. Went 8 innings, surrendering 2 runs. There we go. Horvath's next 2-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Long run for Harding, and it's past him. O'Loughlin stops at second base. And after a long battle, it's a single for Sam Beers in the 9th. Second base knock of the day for the junior from Concordia, Wisconsin. And here's Josh Leslie, the 9 batter. So O'Loughlin on second base after a fielder's choice. Sam Beers on first. Leslie 0 for 3. Nobody up in the Rivets bullpen. They probably don't want to waste another arm. They'll take on Fond du Lac for 2 games tomorrow. Or for a 2-game series starting tomorrow at 6:05. As for the Kingfish, they will host Battle Creek. First pitch to Leslie misses outside. Leslie taps the plate, waves the bat above his head. Horvath's 1-0 pitch. Swung on and shot down the right field line. Tailing foul onto the grassy berm. And it looks like a fan dives and is still battling for the ball. And now it looks like 2 fans are tussling for it. Who comes out on top? Hard to tell. 2 red shirts. And it might have been the fan who was running on the field earlier, and now the ball flies onto the field in fair territory. Now the fan hops the fence, and he grabs it, and he's going to get off the field while the play is still going on. Horvath's 1-1, swing and a miss. Oh, my goodness gracious. There has been a lot of action in this 9th inning. Now it looks like a cap has been tossed onto the field down the right field line, and a fan hops the fence again. Now he's in right field. 2 fans are on the field in right. This is out of control. It's not funny anymore. Somebody needs to stop these folks. Unlike anything I've ever seen. Fans are cheering. Here's the 1-2 to Josh Leslie. Fastball misses low. Folks, I'm at a loss for words here. Now this is 3 times that a fan has run on the field in this 9th inning. One time a fan made it all the way to center field and ran laps around Tyler Hawkins and Cam McDonald. This time, a fan chases a cap onto the field in fair territory while the play's going on. 2-2 pitch from Horvath. Misses inside. Both runners move up 90 as Stengren can't keep it in front of him. This has been a action-packed 9th inning, and not because Kenosha has scored 1 run. But a Josh Leslie single could push across 2 more runs and cut this Rivets lead in half. Rockford ahead 10-3. 10 runs on 10 hits, no errors. 3 runs on 9 hits, 5 errors for Kenosha. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. And the payoff pitch coming up from Tyler Horvath. It's on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the ball game is over. The Rivets crush the Kenosha Kingfish, and they win back-to-back games for the first time this season. The final, Rivets 10, Kingfish 3. We'll be back with the totals after this on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to historic Simmons Field as the Rivets take a 10-3 victory over the Kenosha Kingfish. Here are the final totals. First for the victorious Rockford Rivets. 10 runs on 10 hits, no errors, and 10 left on base. They should go play the lottery tonight. And Kenosha, 3 runs on 9 hits, 5 errors, and 6 left on base. The pitchers of record, Jace Warkentine tosses an absolute gem to improve to 1-1. He gets the victory after 8 innings of work. He surrendered 7 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. The loss belongs to Dominic Hand, who went 4 innings, allowed 2 hits, both of which were home runs. 1 a solo shot and 1 a 3-run blast, so he allows 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. These two teams wrap this one up in 2 hours and 40 minutes in front of a crowd of 1,657. The Rivets blast 3 home runs, and Jace Warkentine looks dominant, and sometimes that's all it'll take. Rivets also got it done on defense. No errors, so the best all-around performance of the season by this Rockford Rivets squad, which improves to a record of 5-6. As for the Kingfish, they drop to 500 at 6-6 as the Rivets win back-to-back games for the first time this season. Could it be a start of a prolonged win streak? We'll find out tomorrow as the Rivets take on the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders at 6:05 at Rivet Stadium. You can catch our call at 6:05 on the Northwoods League Baseball Network television stream. As for Kenosha, they will host Battle Creek for a 2-game home series. So that about wraps it up from Simmons Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This is Larry Larson saying thank you for joining us. Again, the final. Rockford takes it 10-3 over the Kenosha Kingfish. Thank you for listening. So long, everybody.